CEO. Okay? Come on. We're going to manifest up in here today like we always do. I hope that you guys have been tuning into these courses over the past few weeks, the past few months so far. If you have not, you want to make sure that you're tuning in right now. Okay? Hey. So this song right here is by India Irene. It's called Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. And it is also one of the soundtracks to my life, okay? When I'm walking around, I envision myself, especially when I'm affirming to myself, especially when I'm empowering myself, I envision this song in my head, one of many, but always my go-to, because I have strength, courage, and wisdom. But not all the time, if I can be honest, let's be transparent here, do I feel like that? Like, especially what's going on now in the universe. You feel what I'm saying? With the coronavirus. And, I want to say my love and my condolences to all of the families that have been affected by the coronavirus. The man that we lost here in Richmond, Virginia due to the coronavirus. I want to extend my condolences and my love and all of my energy to your family. And I want to tell the people who have not been affected by coronavirus, and to all of my leaders out here listening to me right now, that it is definitely our responsibility to keep, number one, ourselves safe, our family safe, but also our community. I think that we have reached a point in the world where we have turned too much of a blind eye to people in our community, as to regards of us not taking care of them, us not standing in a position to hold ourselves accountable to the safety of our community as well. And it's time to get back to that. Okay, it's definitely time to get back to that. So today, all in all, we are going to be talking about manifesting the law of attraction. That's going to be our staple lesson that we'll talk about here today. But overall, I'm going to begin with giving you a brief yet full lesson on the 12 universal spiritual laws and how they could positively impact your life right now, going through what you're going through. It's almost like a government shutdown. I know that a lot of us can relate to that as well. During those government shutdowns, some of us are unable to pay our bills. During those shutdowns, people lose things. They lose their mind, okay? They lose all of their possessions. Families are altered, and all of that madness. And now our children, if you have kids, I have 3, they're not going to school, so that's education loss. So you feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people in the universe are a bit distraught about this. And I'm affected as well. I feel all of the energy in the universe. I feel all of the sadness, all the anxiety. I feel the shift that's happening, this transition that we're in. And so I feel that as well. But also, what I identify with is my position in the world as a leader, my position in the world as a queen, as royalty. And I'm here to teach one, be a blessing to anyone out here in the world who can't do better than what they're doing right now because they don't actually know better. That used to be me, so as I learn, what I want to do and what I will continue to do is help someone else, give them the resources and information and services that I wish someone had given me back then. But now that I have them, it's just like, listen, if you're interested in taking what it is I know to empower your life, enlighten your life, build your wealth, and just encourage you and your family, your friends, people who are connected to you, to start focusing on our legacy and just building generational wealth and breaking generational curses. You have to understand that even in this moment here where we're suffering through this coronavirus, it's still an energy, it's still a dis-ease, it's still it's still scientific matter in the universe. And once you understand that you too are scientific matter, then you will begin to tap into your innate abilities to manifest, to to heal yourself, to heal your family, to block out any type of energies, whether it's health related or attitude, behavior related. You'll be able to do that. So I hope that I inspire you and empower you and enlighten you with tools that you can take on and use in your life and business to manifest your ultimate desire. So before we get started, I like to read the verse of today. Okay, so the verse of today comes from Matthew 5:7, and I read from the New Living Translation, and it says, God blesses those who are merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Okay, so God blesses those who are merciful, so they will be shown mercy. Matthew 5:7. Okay, so now about these spiritual laws. So spiritual laws, I also talk about spiritual laws in the Kiss Bootcamp book, the ladies. Okay, men, you can purchase this book too. Yes, it's for my women's empowerment program called Kiss Bootcamp. KISS is an acronym, and it stands for Keep It Sacred Sexy, because you can do both. If I'm 30, so we grew up in a time where it's like either you're gonna be sacred or you're gonna be a Jezebel. You don't necessarily have to bask in your femininity and be a Jezebel. Okay, but you can definitely be a woman in all of its qualities, its beauty, voluptuousness. You know what I'm saying? Just a total woman, and still be this sacredly connected, universally sound woman as well. It's possible. So that's what Kids Bootcamp is about. However, it has a lot of life lessons in it. It has a lot of jewels and information and lesson plans and meal plans, exercise plans that will strengthen your overall life, your mind, body, and your spirit. This is just in female form. I read from it. All the information is unisex, and I'm working on a book that will present it as being unisex. But today, the law of attraction is our main lesson here, and I'm just going to briefly tell you about the 12 laws, the 12 universal spiritual laws. Okay, so number one, we're going to talk about the law of divine oneness. Okay, so the law of divine oneness is the foundational law according to which absolutely everything in the universe is interconnected. Okay, now in other words, every choice, every word, every desire, every belief you have will also have an impact on the world and the people in your life. Right? So sometimes this is important. Sometimes this impact will be immediate and obvious. At other times, it may take a while to manifest, or you may even discover that it has. You may not even discover that it has even occurred. Right? So you gotta try to link yourself try to think of yourself as a part of everything around you to live in accordance with this law, right? Because like I said a few minutes ago, we have to understand that everything happening around us is energy. Everything happening around us is life, and so we are life too. So things are much more logical than we think they are. You just have to think scientifically about yourself. That's why it's important to develop the positive affirmations. It's important to speak as though it already is. Oh, that's Microsoft. They're gonna be mad at me. I posted that 2 days, but anyway, so that's why it's ultimately important to definitely speak those things as though they were. Okay, now number two is the law of vibration. Okay, now according to the law of vibration, every particle in the universe is in constant movement and constantly carries energy. This applies to enormous parts of the universe like the planets and the stars. However, it is also, applied to the chair that I'm sitting in right now, or the table where my computer and stuff is sitting. The law of vibration is just that. It is an energy. And in addition to that, everything has its own specific energy frequency. High energy particles are naturally attuned to other high energy particles, and the same is true for those in lower vibrations. So the saying like birds of a feather flock together, or misery loves company. All of those things, it's energy. So you attract what you are, right? It's a vibration. Number 2. All right, so number 3 is the law of correspondence. And like I said, I'm just briefly going over the 12 laws in a whole, and then we're going to really talk about the law of attraction, right? So share this with somebody who may be going through and they're trying to identify what it is they need to do with their life in this basically world shutdown, right? And it's very important not to just sit around and just weep in your sorrows. Okay, it's very important to if not beyond this day, to starting with today. It's very important for you to start thinking about what you would like to see in your life and in your career. How are you going to protect your family? How are you going to provide for your family? Are you living out your desires? How affected are you in this situation right here? You understand what I'm saying? What can you start doing today that will still fill in the gap for what you're missing? We can't focus on what we're missing. We can't focus on what the universe has stopped us from receiving. And to be totally honest with you, it's man. It's not universe. So we have an opportunity to still manifest our desires. We have an opportunity to still cast down anything that's not a part of the plan of what we desire to see in our life and business. So make sure that you're definitely taking notes on these 12 spiritual laws. And if you want to investigate yourself, go and look it up on the internet. Law of attraction is number 4 of the 12 laws. And then, as you already know, we're going to talk about that a little later. Number 5 is the law of inspired action. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about inspired action. Okay. It's, when I think about the law of inspired action, I think a lot about Robert Youngblood. Shout out to him. I remember when I met him, we used to attend this networking meeting together, and he said to us one day, he said, how many of you know that knowledge is power? And we all raised our hand, and we was like, Rob, where you going with this? And he was like, y'all are wrong. And we was like, what? Like, what you talking about? Knowledge is power. And he was like, yeah, but applied knowledge is power. Okay, so you have to apply the knowledge that you have within you, or the knowledge that you've retained, in order for it to be powerful. I used to date this guy that read. He read, very smart, retained a lot of material, retained a lot of education. He was so smart. All he used to do was read, but he didn't put any of that into action. Like, he knew all about business, but didn't put any of that into action. He knew all about what it took to gain stability in his life, but he put none of that to action. So here at the one of the 5th law, the spiritual law of inspired action, it's important to put what you know into action. You can talk about it all day. When you going to be about it? And if it requires you to take a leap of faith, when you going to jump? When are you going to jump? Nobody is going to be able to do what it is you do in life but you. You can tell somebody how to do it, but it still will never be done like you can do it. So you can cheat all day, baby. Here go the blueprint to getting it done with no shortcuts. Okay, definitely. And it all got to do with energy in the universe. You are life, it's life. You are energy, it's energy. Listen, all you have to do is combat it, fight it. And the special thing about you is that the most special and the most powerful thing about you that's sitting right here listening right now is that you have dominion over it all. You have dominion to manifest, to cast down, all you have to do is strengthen the abilities you already have in you. Manifest those qualities into your life. And that's what Manifesting Mondays is all about. We talk about manifesting the desires, your ultimate desires. We talk about strengthening those innate abilities that you already have within you and using them to cultivate the life and business or life and career that you desire to have in your life. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for your friend. It's not for your parents. It shouldn't be. It should be for you. You and only you. Because only you have the purpose and the assignment that you have been given on this earth today. Whether it's to work a job with or for somebody else, or whether it's to build jobs, build all of that commerce for somebody else. Okay. We gonna do that right there. And we back. Yes, like that. Yes. So let's move on. Number 6 is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Okay, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy states that everything around us is in constant flux. You can't see all of the changes because many of them exist at the cellular or atomic level. Microsoft from cuss me out, y'all, but you can't see all of them because they exist on the cellular or atomic level, but they carry on regardless. Okay, so the reason that it's so important to be aware of this law is that it helps you see how you can trigger positive change, specifically to keep in mind that high vibrations can trigger improvements in low vibrations. Okay, for example, if you're vibrating at a low frequency, exposing yourself to the high frequency of happy, encouraging friends will naturally trigger energy transmutation in you, right? So it goes right back. You got to be aware of the energy that you're absorbing and the energy that you're putting out. Like, you know, we can relate to that type of thing in this culture where our parents say, fix your face. And you like, my face not even bothering you. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not saying anything. Or watch your body language. It's all because of that. Because your energy is saying it all. You don't listen. So tighten up, right? But most importantly, watch the company you keep. You have to watch the company you keep. Definitely. You have to guard your energy, right? Definitely guard your energy, because people unknowingly absorb your energy. People unknowingly, I'm talking about, it could even be as simple as, you know, the ones who pick arguments with you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it could be as simple as that. Sometimes people pick arguments just so you can say something to them. Just so they can have, like, I made you, And what you did was give them your energy. You gave them the time. And we can't do that. So it's important to strengthen and master the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. So, and that's law number 6. Law number 7, we got 12 of them. The law of cause and effect, right? Because you did. Here you go. That's basically what the law of cause and effect is, right? And one thing we got to do is the most important thing, the most basic way that you can put the law of cause and effect is what you do comes back to you. Okay? Like, seriously, this is one of the most straightforward laws of the universe. The law of cause and effect tells us that all actions have corresponding reactions. You will already know this, of course, when it comes to the physical aspects of the world. Now, however, perhaps you haven't considered this law, you know, might impact to the spiritual aspects of the universe, but it definitely does. Okay, you be a blessing to receive a blessing. Okay, and the simple one is, like we just said, what you do comes back to you. Like, you treat others how you want to be treated. All of these things, these things are not really cliche. We just tired of hearing them. That's all it is. So you got to change your mindset about it. It's so important. I preach about a faith-driven mindset, because it's so important to have a faith. Stupid, crazy, just out of this world people talking about your faith. You have to develop that mindset, because if you do not, when you are approached by obstacles, when you are approached by naysayers, when you have those things going on in your life, and you feel as though you've been doing everything that you can do, that I syndrome, and you are for real, like you dead serious then cool. And the law of cause and effect, when you have that wisdom and you're operating in it, you can identify that, look, listen, I can't go out here and have no attitude because things ain't working out for me, because what I'm sending out into the universe is my disrespect, my anger, I'm worried. If you got an attitude about how you feel, what's going on, you basically saying that you don't believe in the outcome. You don't believe in a greater outcome. So you got to change your mindset about these things. Okay, the number 8. Okay, the law of compensation. All right, you will receive what you put out. Definitely. That's why it's important to tithe. I know, and tithing doesn't necessarily relate to having to be inside of a facility called church and you're giving your money to this organization. That doesn't necessarily that's not the only box that you get to be benevolent in the universe and tithe back a percentage of what you have and you know, sow seeds. That's not it. Maybe you're not even a part of a you know, a church community like that. You don't go and fellowship in a body of people. Now you should find you a collective, but what if you don't? You feel what I'm saying? Then you find you a charity. You find something righteous that's you know, in divine alignment with the Most High. You find something of that nature and you sow your seeds that way. But you still have to participate in the law of compensation. This is similar to the law of attraction, but we'll focus on the idea that the compensation can come in many forms. Okay, for example, if you win a large amount of money and you think you're getting a reward, however, depending on how you have lived, your vast amount of wealth could lead towards a worse life rather than a better one. Right? So essentially you reap what you sow, type of thing. So you got to be careful about what you're sowing. Yep. Okay. Listen, kids out of school now, y'all, because of this coronavirus, they won't be calling me in the middle of my mindset coaching lessons. We ain't gonna do that, Lord. Get them. Okay? Now, yes. Okay, cool. All right. Now, number 9 is the law of relativity. Now, the law of relativity is all about the neutrality of things when seen in isolation. Okay, so no particular person, experience, emotion, or action is evaluated as good or bad until you look at it in comparison with something else. Right? So, for example, you may think that you are poor, but perhaps that's because you have 3 wealthy uncles. You know? By keeping this law in mind, you remain conscious of the fact that there are always multiple perspectives on anything that happens to you. And my best tip within this is whatever is happening in your life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. No matter what it is, no matter what it looked like, you need to understand that it's not over till it's good. And I was telling one of my friends over the weekend, you know, we got to also remember what we are praying for, what we have asked for, the type of lifestyle we want to attain, what we want our family to look like, what we want our finances to look like. We have to remember what we asked for, and then be honest and true with ourselves about where we are right now. And you, in combination with that, it's almost like the 3-strand cord, because in combination with that, you have to understand and identify that the universe, God, Allah, whatever you call the ultimate creator, is not going to bless you with abundance and all of that you're asking for if you are in a state of mess, if you are at a point where you can't even receive your blessing. If it was given to you today, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. All that money you asking for, you ain't gonna even put it in the right place. You not gonna even create reciprocity. You know, I can't give you your blessing because you got people around you who will take advantage of your blessing if I give it to you right now, but you can't see it right now, baby, because you love it so much. And that's okay, but I got you. You just don't know it. So you got to go through some things. I got to shake you up. Life going to be feeling like it's out of control, but it's just me. I got control of it. You let go. Surrender. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to I'm telling you, you have to develop this mindset, y'all. You really have to develop the stupid, crazy, out of this world, oh my God, that crazy faith, because that's where the true answers lie. That's where the answers to your prayers lie. That's where the manifestation to all of your affirmations and desires lie. It lies in that stupid, crazy faith. Okay, you have to definitely clear your space out to receive anything, people, places, or things. Now let's move on to the law of polarity. When you're thinking about the law of polarity, the most important thing to remember is that absolutely everything has an opposite, and it is the very existence of these opposites that allow us to understand our life. right? For every good, there's a bad. It's balance in the world, okay? Now, consequently, when you go through something difficult, it will be this type of thing that helps you truly understand what it is, what's happening in your life, and appreciate the good developments to come. It takes listen, okay, I done been through some times, not even a year ago, and it was like my outlook, the way the world was viewing me, they couldn't see the things that I was going through, me and these kids was going through, but that's because I knew that even in my moments where I felt weary, and even in those moments where I cried a little bit, because I'm like 20% human, if you ask me. I'm 20% human, 80% angel, I don't know, but even in these even in those moments, I still had my faith, I still had my peace, I still had my joy. I was happier than I was when I was in a situation and was lacking, but wasn't filled with as much spiritual strength as I was during the most recent time. So I identified my spiritual growth. I identified the blessings that were coming. I knew that where I was standing was only a test in time, and I had to be shaken loose of everything else that was left on me before I can walk into this season that I've walked into now. So I'm definitely a living example. I don't just come and tell y'all these things because it sound good. I'm trying to get a following. I don't even have a black and white following that you can go to and see numbers on. All I have is the assignment, and as far as I know, it might just be one or two people barely looking at me every week, but all I know is that God has me here to deliver a message to the collective of people who are listening. And one of the prophets and ministers that I follow in my life is Jesus Christ, and he only had 12 for real, 10 if you know what I mean, but at the same time, he always moved like he had millions. And so that's what I'm going to do. Amen. Amen. Yes. So, but back to what law was we on again? The law of polarity. I almost got depression up in here. Hallelujah. Okay. Minister Handsome. Yeah. My grandma come out random times. By regularly reminding yourself of this, though, you can improve your resilience in troubled times. Understanding that in bad situations, you have to appreciate the good developments that are coming. So number 12, the law of rhythm is very important. Sometimes called the law of perpetual motion. The law of rhythm is unsurprisingly focused on movement. In particular, it refers to the fact that all things come in cycles, okay? So you can see this in nature, in the seasons, and in the body's aging process. However, it equally applies to the person's life stages, and reflecting on this helps you to gain perspective. Okay, so today's season may be good, but nothing is permanent. So enjoy what you have while it lasts, type of thing, right? Now, even in this season where we're going through, you have some people who may be feeling like they getting ready to be slighted. People not able to go to work, kids not going to school. It's business owners who are out here who will do exceptionally well digitally, if you catch my drift. That was a hint. Business had not on, but that was definitely a hint, and I'm coming back for you out there, guys. Listen. But anyway, you definitely have to look at, still in this season, the good things that you can pull out of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, cause it ain't over till it's good, and it's always something good in the midst of that bad, even if it's tiny, 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 and the bad is big, 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 big. I'm telling you that, hold on to that good right there, because that shows faith, that shows gratitude, and that's the main thing you need to have to activate any of this. Any of this, like. Yes, faith is the difference between life and death, but you have to give off that gratitude before you even have it. All right, so now alternatively, perhaps you're in a negative part of life, like we were just discussing with this coronavirus and right now, but it may be the very thing that prepares you for the prosperous change in the next cycle of months, because it could be. Take this opportunity to think about your life on a greater scale. I challenge you and give you this lesson today that I do with my one-on-one clients and in group sessions. I give them a homework assignment. It's always my first one, and it's to jot down 3 goals that you would like to attain in the next 90 days, 6 months, or a year span of your life. Okay? And like I said, I understand that everybody's position is not to be this business owner or create businesses. Some of us just want to be a phenomenal career professional. Some of us just want to be one of the best players on the game in somebody else's business, and that's fine. These principles are for anyone, but I I really challenge you to take some time to jot down 3 goals. Just 3. Just 3. It's just 3. Jot down 3 goals that you want to attain in your life within the next 90 days. What is it? Do you want to see a shift in your career? Do you want to see a shift in your life? Is it for your kids? Is it for your family? Is it for you? I know a lot of people out here are in serving leadership, so that's fine as well. Maybe it's for somebody else. Maybe you feel like, okay, I need to pray for somebody else because that somebody else need to get what they need to get in order to have us be together. That's the way that I be thinking. My mind always thinking like a well-oiled machine. Seriously. It ain't just about me, and I know I can't do it with just me. So it's like, if I got me at a good pace and a good level, and I'm able to pour into who I need to pour into to keep this well-oiled machine running, because I know that I might need you and you need me and they need us, and we gotta listen. Okay, listen. So it's important, y'all. Let's move on to the law of gender. All right. Finally, the law of gender has little to do with biological sex, y'all. Rather, it refers to the fact that there are 2 major types of energy. You can think of them as masculine and feminine energy. I love to use yin and yang, or as anima and animus, right? We all contain a certain amount of both energies, and we must find a way to achieve the balance between both types if we are, if we want to live authentically and happily. You have to understand that. Think about the role type of each energy and how it appears in your life, and whether there is an excuse or a deficit of either. Alright, so those were the 12 laws, and that's I feel as though, okay, Lord, I'm gonna go ahead and expound on that. The law of gender, that's the 12 laws, y'all. Unleash your full manifesting potential. Yes. If you are, for example, like me, and an alpha man. I'm an alpha woman, and it's for alpha men as well. So alpha men and women, right? We're strong, and we can be dominant at times. We can carry our own weight, but we still are nothing without each other. We still are nothing if we do not understand that sometimes we need to be able to draw that energy back a little bit so we can relate to the other gender. What I mean by that in particular is that, like I said, I'm an alpha woman. So I don't want to have my man in a position where he feels as though I don't know how to take a step back and allow him to be the alpha in the relationship when needed. You have to know as a woman, and this is opposite for the man, but you have to know when it's time to also step up and maybe lead to follow for him, and when to just follow. You have to understand that. And when you're an alpha woman, sometimes it could be hard, because alpha women in this day of time, we develop our alpha qualities from having to do it all, from having to go so hard, from having to be independent to get it done. So we women struggle a little bit more in that area, because you have to go from a place of independency sometimes to dependency, codependency, in a certain type of way. And then we struggle between allowing ourselves to soften in that submissive area for the man who deserves it finally. So that's just a little bit. I'm gonna do some relationship talks in a little while, okay? In a little while. I call them grounds of the sexes. We gotta meet common ground. So anyhow, though, the law of attraction. That's all I'm gonna get to y'all today. The law of attraction. We're gonna expound on that specific law on Wednesday, y'all, for Wellness Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. Like I said, you can check out my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube at LadyCEO Xaviera Handsome. It's plenty of Lady CEOs out there in the universe. Shout out to all of you, but I'm the Lady CEO here representing Richmond, Virginia, baby. 804. Make sure you go and subscribe to my channel. Hit the alert button so you can catch some things that be going on in the meantime or between time, okay? This is Manifesting Monday. Make sure you take that assignment and put it to good use, because this is your life. This is your career. This is your legacy. Those are your kids. This is your family. And I am here to hold you accountable. I'm here to do my duty as a steward of the Lord and pass on the information and encourage my brothers and sisters. So I hope that I am doing just that. If you find as though I'm not helping you, pass me on, because I might help somebody next to you. You know, no, don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. Hallelujah. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, that is it. I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you for sharing if you did. We were talking about the 12 basic laws of the universe, and later on this week we're going to be talking about the law of attraction and specifically, okay? So I talk to you guys Wednesday. It's Lady CEO when I got to go. You can catch more of me on Lady CEO Digital. Hey, that was 2 bars for the week. I got 2 good ones, 2 more good ones left.